For me, student-centredness is all about where you start and where you finish in a sequence of teaching in your contact with students. You need to start where your students are, not where you are. So as a teacher, you have to be able to put yourself into the shoes of your students, um, understand how they feel about being in the classroom with you, learning what you want to teach them. And if you understand that, if you understand where to start, then your students will be able to join you on the journey. This runs completely counter to the lecturing tradition, which is so common in universities around the world, where the lecturer stands before the students and simply says, you have to understand me on my terms, not on your terms. To be a good teacher, to be genuinely student-centered, I have to understand where my students are. I can't start anywhere else. I can only start where they are. That's absolutely crucial. And having said that, that I've got one more bone to pick with current practice in teacher education and teacher training, which is to say very, very often that too much teacher talking time is not a good thing, and that it can't be student-centered if the teacher is talking. And I agree with that up to a point. Much more useful for me as a term is the notion of learning-centredness, which means that anything which contributes to the learning of students in the class is good stuff for them and for the teacher. That means if the teacher wants to tell a story or an anecdote from personal life, or just to give a model of good pronunciation or something like this, that is not very student-centered at that particular time, but it is learning-centered. So I think there's a lot of nonsense talked about student-centeredness as though it was the antithesis of teacher-centeredness, and as though teacher-centeredness was always a bad thing and teacher talking time was always a bad thing, which it isn't. I think that sums up my beliefs about student-centeredness, and I hope it's useful.